So we've spoken about rent increases. We'd just like to know a little bit more about if there will be a rent increase cap.
No, I've trawled through the Act as it's drafted at the moment. There is no rent increase cap. So, again, it's about being realistic.
Yeah.
Knowing what your property's worth, knowing what the local market is. And that's why it's probably really important to speak to an agent and see what would be a really reasonable rent increase.
Yeah, and following what we said earlier, I think, yes, there'll be no cap as such, but obviously if you were to over-egg and overestimate and value the property for the rent increase, it would only be reduced anyway.
It would, because obviously the tenant has a right to ask the tribunal to assess whether or not it's a fair increase. And like I said previously, increases, tribunals have the ability to increase or decrease rent.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and also we've had that many conversations with our clients about when they want to, increase the rent far more than what the current market value is. So, as letting agents, that's our job, isn't it, to assess the market. We know that kitchen, that bathroom, etc., is not worth that rent. So therefore, and educating all parties involved that this is what we feel the rental price is, and I think that's why they haven't put the cap on, because they know that it sets itself really with the people got the choice to move.
And it goes back to, and again I've said it already, but it's a rent review. That's so important to say, because when a landlord potentially or a tenant hears a sort of rent review, they automatically think it's an increase automatically, and it's not always the case. I know the market's been quite buoyant over the last few years, and we have seen a lot of rents increase. But it will get to a certain point. There's been some recently where it might not warrant an increase, absolutely, and it sort of stays where it is.
Yeah. So it's about managing landlords' expectations.
Absolutely, yes.
And you guys are the best place to do that.
No, but what we have seen, and this is going on with where rent increases have always been about, have always been quite small over the years. But what we've seen, obviously, with interest rates and our clients' mortgages going up, it's where the landlords over the years only putting them up by £25, £30, but they've had their mortgage coming to end the deal, and they're having increases by £300-400. So we have been doing larger rent increases.
But when we serve those as well, but also when we serve those larger ones, we have conversations with tenants, don't we, before. Yes. We also can show them comparable evidence, to suggest, yes, it's gone up probably more than you're used to in the past, but it's gone up for this reason, and actually you're probably still below the sort of market value as such as well.
Well, that's it. I mean, tenants can go and do their own homework. They can think, I don't like this rent increase. Let's go and have a look what comparable properties are out there. We might be able to move. 9 times out of 10, I would suggest that a tenant will go, okay, I'm going to stay put.
It's very rare a tenant challenges at the moment. And I think that is purely down to the fact, like you said, rents have gone up quite a lot over the last few years. And if they were to look on the market, like you say, at other properties, they probably quite quickly realise it's not as high as comparable properties.
No, and think of the additional costs if you do move. Removal costs, new deposit, higher rent. Exactly. All of those things are probably detrimental more than the higher rent increase that your current landlord's asking.
Mm.